Hey, what's up? It's Joey here, and today we're going to be jamming some DADGAD tuning together. What I love most about open tunings is that they can break you out of a rut. So if you're stuck in the same old licks and chord shapes and all that, if you put your guitar in open tuning, it pushes you in a completely different direction. In this video, I'm just going to give you a bit of a starting point with DADGAD tuning, show you a couple of licks, a couple of chord shapes, and then we're just going to go right ahead and have a jam together. There's no tab or anything like that included with this. I just encourage you to take what you can from this video and then go off and make it your own. But please do stick around for the end, because we're going to have a nice jam together with some cool DADGAD blues licks. If you want to learn about other tunings or just blues guitar in general, check out these other videos. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and maybe even subscribe to the channel if you're really feeling generous today. Okay, let's get into it. So the first thing to notice straight away is that we now have an abundance of octaves just in the open strings. So we've got 3 octaves of D on the 6th string, the 4th string, and the 1st string. Those are all D notes. On the 5th string and the 2nd string, we've got an octave of A. So that means that anything we figure out or anything we know on, let's say, the 6th string, we can do the exact same thing on the 1st string or the 4th string. We can do them at the same time, even if we want to get these nice kind of thick lead lines using the octaves. So if you know your pentatonic scale pretty well up and down the neck on, let's say, 1 string, you can now double that up really nicely using the octave. Alright, so now let's look at some chords. So the first one I want to show you is this D5 chord. So basically you just get your index finger, pop it on the G string there on the 2nd fret, and voila, you got this nice mystical sounding chord. If we move this D5 chord up to the 5th fret, so if we just bar across like that with our index, use the ring finger now for the G string, that's our G5 chord, or our 4 chord in the blues. I know it gets a little bit confusing with the numbers, trust me, I get confused myself sometimes, but fear not. So we've got our 1 chord, we've got our G5, which is our 4 chord, and now we've got our 5 chord as well, just 2 frets above that, so that's an A. So we've got D, G, and A. You can also do a bit of a different version of something like this. You can add in the 3rd by just moving the G. Instead of being above, we're going to move it down here. So we're going to go like this. Add in the major 3rd there. Move it up. We get A major. Move it up 1 more and flatten your 3rd this time. So not this. Move the G string down 1 fret. We get B minor, which is the relative minor. So now we've also got our nice kind of typical pop progression. If you want to find the major 3rd with your root position D5, just grab the D string, right, and we'll go. it is. And remember, double it up with the octave. You can also play these cool bar chords just using one finger. If you've ever tried drop D tuning or learnt any songs in drop D, odds are you've done something like this before. You can do a very simple blues riff just by going like this. Just with one finger on the A string, up to the 5th fret. Up to the 5 chord, 7th fret, 5th fret. So in the intro jam, I did something similar to these one finger bar chords for some of it. So I just did an open D, just like that, right? And then I brought in the F here, 3rd fret, G, 5th fret, just one finger. I also occasionally brought in with the major 3rd, or you can also do them just like the 5. Okay, so we've talked about chords, now let's talk about some cool blues licks. So, what I want you to do straight away is just try this, don't get too bogged down in the details, just try something like this. So that's the high E string, which is now a D string. 3rd fret, little bit of a bend, pull it off. Now with our knowledge of the octaves that we have at our disposal here, we know that we can just take that exact same riff, do it on the D string, gonna get the same thing, and the low E string. Okay, now we'll try something similar using the B string. What was the B string? It's now an A string. Something like that. Now we'll go down to our actual A string down here. Down the octave. Up the octave. Now we'll go combine them together, okay? So we'll start in the lower octave. Higher octave. Now we'll do a double stop, okay? So we'll go lower octave. Might be easier to use 2 fingers. So any cool licks or riffs you figure out, you can just copy and paste them from there up the octave to here. So one more thing worth mentioning here in this open position is what to do with the G string, right? So we know from our D5 chord, we've got it there. So the hint is in the name of that chord, D5. We're actually just holding down the 5th of the blues scale. If you're familiar with your pentatonic, the number system or whatever, you know it goes 1 flat 3rd, 4 5 flat 7, back to the 1, right? So that would all sound like this together. 1 flat 3rd, minor 3rd, 4 5 flat 7, back to the root. Okay, so that's your pentatonic scale. So the trick with this G, which is holding down the 5th like this, is to try and get that note in between the 5th and the 4th, which is the flat 5, the blue note. So that's on the 1st fret of the G string. But you can do it nice and quick like this, like a grace note. So those are just a couple of quick licks. Obviously I flew through them, so don't worry if you don't get them straight away. What I really want you to do is just try and get the essence of these licks and truly try to make them your own, put your own spin on them. Even if you have to completely simplify them, that's totally fine as well. That some of the best blues music ever is deceptively simple sounding, you know? It's all about the feeling, man. Alright, so now you've reached the fun part of the video. We're going to put all the stuff we've talked about so far into practice in a jam together in DADGAD. I'm going to keep this riff going throughout, this kind of pulsing. Just like that, and then I'm going to go just with the one finger for now. That's the F on the 3rd fret to the G on the 5th fret. If you want to get fancy with those ones, you can go that one with the major 3rd there, or you can go with the 5th even like that if you want. You can just mix it up, alternate it, excuse me. So I'm going to lay a nice foundation of groove there with just that kind of nice little pulsing thing, and then I'll start throwing in some riffs. Just nice stuff like that. I might do some stuff that maybe we didn't cover in today's video, but you know, it might just inspire you to try something else yourself. Even if you just hold down the groove for this and don't try anything fancy at all, it's going to sound great, it's going to feel great. So just do what you can with this one and have fun, which is the most important thing always, is having fun with music. So let's do it. So I'm going to start this off with a nice easy pulse. So just try that out for now. Just using my thumb on my right hand. Tap your foot along as well, keep the rhythm. You could try a little bit of syncopation with the other strings. Okay, now we're going to bring in this little chord change. It's the 3rd fret of the bottom 3 strings and then the 5th fret, okay? Just those 1 finger bar chords. Let's try some riffs. High E string, 3rd fret. Try the B string on the 3rd fret. Very good. And if you can't handle the riffs right now, don't worry about it. Just keep the pulse going. Now let's try bring in our blue note, our grace note. G string 1st fret, flick it off. Put it all together. Those are our octaves. Alright, so that's it for DADGAD, and that's it from me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.